Do 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 do. See that little, need a good pointer. What can I use to point with? How about a pencil? These. See that little blemish right there? So let's scratch this area with some 3000. It happens pretty fast. These marks right there. I will dot each one like this. You're going to need a variety of sandpapers. Get yourself one of these because these work really good to sand off those file marks really quickly. Maybe 180, depending how deep those scratches are, 240, 320, 400, 600. All these work really good for sanding out those file marks. And then I've got 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 3000. And also you're going to need a variety of emery cloth grits. These work really well for getting out those stubborn scratches. And then also get yourself a variety of wet and dry sandpapers. You can find these on Amazon, and I go all the way up to 10,000. These work really well for hand sanding scratches and light imperfections. And I also like to have them in small little squares. And the reason why I like them small like this is you get to use every little part of grit on that piece of sandpaper, and it doesn't go to waste. And if you notice, I've got two 600 grits. This 600 really is pretty gritty, and it really puts in a deeper scratch, much more deeper than this 600. So if I went from this emery 600 to 1000, it's really hard to get out those scratches. So I scratch it with this, and then I go back to this and scratch over those, and it's easier then to make the transition up to 1000 grit. After you have your piece dent free, filed down, holes welded in, whatever, take a Sharpie, just keep marking every little spot that needs to be sanded out. Then start with your deepest scratch. What looks the deepest? So mark all your defects, and then, so you don't have to spend a lifetime sanding this stuff. If it looks pretty deep, you may have to go with some of these coarser grits. There, I've got quite a few in there. Let's go at it. 240 at those. I'm gonna knock those down with 240. Let's go. Go time. And I'm just gonna concentrate on that spot. And if you feel you need to use your air tool on it, go at it. This one's pretty deep. Let's use our air tool. Right there, that's a pretty big nick in there. So I'm gonna go with my tool here. Wow, look at that. Ooh. And let's buzz that off. You need to be so close. Like, geez. Okay. I got it. Man, did that work slick. Oh, there's still one there. Darn it. See it right there? I can. Let's get that one quick. All right, that's gone. That was 240, and that worked really slick. That was 240, so I can't jump up to 600 right away, so now I need to scratch it with some 320. All of these scratches, I'm going to go in this direction. And the reason for that is you can definitely see the scratches going like this from the tool I just used. So now I want all my scratches to go this way with this next grit. And by doing so, I can see exactly what I need to sand down. So we have to continue with this 320 until all of those scratches going the opposite direction are gone. You could use the Arbiter, but I like to use that just to get out the nick because it's hard to see the scratches from the previous sandpaper. This way, if I keep all of my scratching one direction, it'll be really easy. Here, see those scratches? It's getting better, but all those have to be out. You're going to drive yourself crazy if you don't get those out, because when it comes to the buff stage, you're going to see those. They're going to pop out at you. So this is going to take just a couple more minutes. Got one little spot here that I can still see. Let's point it out to you. It's right there. That little spot right there. But everything else is looking much better. All my scratches are going this direction. Now, if you have something in there that's really hard to get out and you just can't get it out, here's a tip. I am at 320 grit, and I have a stubborn scratch. Where is it now? I think it's right here, right there. Those little tiny little nicks. They just aren't coming out as fast as I want them to. So I'm going to use this, but so I bumped it up 3 grits. So I'm at 800 grit right now. To get out that little spot, I think it's gone. There, now I don't see that spot at all. The reason I'm using a higher grit on the air tool, so I can go back with 320 and get all my scratches going the same direction. And it's going to be really easy to scratch over that when these scratches are a higher grit scratch. Okay, so watch. That spot is still there a little bit. Not as bad. I think it's coming. There. There we go. All the scratches are going the same direction. Now I can go up to the next grit. 400. Got some 400 right there. Now, I don't want to sand this way still with the 400 because you know what? you're not going to be able to tell which are 320 scratches and which are 400 scratches. So now you have to change direction and keep that direction so you can see those 320 scratches. So now I'm going to scratch like this. Just like that. And now what you look for, see these scratches going this way? Now you can see where you need to keep on sanding. I still have scratches going this way. If you did everything the same direction, you don't know what scratch is what. And you're defeating the purpose. It's not helping you at all. So, you got to know what you're sanding. So you have to go the opposite direction with the next grit. And ever so faint, if we look at it close, there's some scratches here. There's some scratches up here. See that line? So we know we got a little bit more sanding here to do. And if you want mirror and also you want to try not to scratch where you haven't done yet. So maybe put a piece of tape. You don't want to sand where you don't need to sand. Only the areas that need to be sanded. So protect that area with some tape. Sorry, should have told you that. Oops, I'm jiggling camera here. Okay, I think I'm going to jump to 600 now. Now I'm going to go this way with my 600. Okay, so now if you look, you can see our scratches going this way. I'm trying to, this is such a long process. I'm trying to come up with ways to speed this process up. So that's 600 grit. Now I'm going to go back to this. Now this has 1200 grit on it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my 600 just to get all these scratches going the same direction. Just to make sure I've got all those 400 sand marks sanded out. doing the tool kind of saved myself a little time, because I am almost, you can see, you still got some here, but it's coming. And I've already spent 24 minutes just on this one spot. And sometimes as you sand, you see other things. It's like this metal is porous or something. There's my 600 scratches. This emery cloth cuts a little bit more coarse than this does. So I'm going to do another wipe with 600, and I'm going to wet it a little bit, and I think that's all it's going to take, is that right there. Find yourself a chamois. Chamois works really well to wipe it dry. It does not scratch. Okay, there's my 600 scratches. Now I can bump up to 1,000. Now I need to change my direction so I can see those 600 scratches. Okay, let's take a look. Yep, see those lines going this way? So, keep on rubbing until those are gone. Okay, so we're at 1,000. So now I'm going to use this again. Got 3,000 on this, and I'm going to go over that and see if I can get some of those scratches out. Back to 1,000. Okay, now we've got 1,200, and now we're going to go the opposite direction. It really starts getting easier. If you look at it here, you can see these scratches going this way now. You wouldn't be able to see those if you went the same direction with your next grit. You wouldn't know which scratch is which. Once you get up to 1,000, you just sand everything. And then you sand everything with the next grit. And I've only spent a little over a half hour on this one spot that had that deep nick in it. Okay, I don't see any scratches in there. They're all going this direction. That was 1,200. So now we're going to go up to 1,500. And now we're going to sand this direction. I don't see any scratches. 2,000. Now 2,000 this way. And as you can see my scratches going up and down? Now's where you get up to these fine grits. You need a little wet sand. What's that? A little lubrication. Helps to keep that sandpaper clean so it keeps on cutting. Let's see how that buffs out. Give it a little rake. Focus. And there it is. Next color rouge is white. So I'm going to hit it with a little white rouge here. It's looking really great. And if you're happy with that, then you're done. What I'm trying to do is take it to the next level and getting this a total mirror finish. And it is very challenging. As I'll take an even higher grit, 4000, fresh soapy water, and I'm going to give that area a little extra rub down. Back to the buffing wheel with my white and just go over this ever so slightly again to bring back that shine. There it is. Very shiny in that spot. Now, I just wish everything was that good. Those are the steps. It's a little dusty. Little dusty. It's a tedious, long process. This is. And I just sit here and do this. It's a workout. You could think of this as therapeutic. You know, just kind of get yourself in a Zen mood. Soapy water. Show car quality. That's what I'm after. Why not? This thing here. Where is it? It's tiring. So, you know anything new? This is one of those chamois. Not a chamois, a chamois. When you wipe over this, it doesn't leave any scratches. There's some scratches going this way instead of this way. There, a little better. Can't talk much when I'm working because it takes a lot to think of words to say, and I can't think of words to say and talk at the same time while I'm doing this. So. There's nothing that is wrong when you just stay here. Let's go. Here's a